How's everyone doing today? My name is Noah. This is the Life of the Zigs channel. Coming back at you with another video on how to fix some plumbing going wrong in your house. As you can see here, we're currently underneath my kitchen sink. We got the doors open and I have an issue going on where there's a gurgling sound coming from my kitchen sink whenever my slop sink downstairs, whenever the pump runs and drains that water out. So long story short, I have a utility sink in my basement. There's a pump that pumps the water out because I don't have any pipes that are below the basement that can just use gravity to pull the water. So whenever that pump runs, which I just installed a little while back, it sucks water out of this trap. That's what's happening. So you hear a gurgling sound, which I'll show you right here. So what's happening is it's pulling water from the trap, which this is underneath your sink, part of the trap underneath your sink, and this is what holds the water in so that the gases don't come through the trap and stink up your house. Sewer gases don't smell the best. Most of you know that, some of you may not. But you lose that water, you're gonna have a smelly house. So this is how I'm gonna fix that issue with a Studer mini vent or mechanical vent or air admittance valve, whatever you wanna call it. All this allows is basically you'll have a T-piece down here with your trap hooked up to that, and then the drain going down, and this will be up top, and it allows air to get sucked in, but not air to come out. So that's the cool thing about a mechanical vent. It works perfect for situations like these where after all the plumbing's done, which this house was built 40 years ago, so I'm not reinventing the wheel in with this house for this plumbing. I'm just gonna put this sucker underneath and it'll fix this issue. So let's get started. One thing I want to show you guys here too is that I had to install an S-trap when I did this sink. And that's part of the reason why this issue could be happening, is because this S is draining down where it used to drain out into there. However, since I have a garbage disposal now, the drain was too low and was not going to work with that, and I didn't want to cut all this open and have to repipe there because the pipe is offset about 3-4 foot that way. So that would have just been a big headache, and it was just easier to go down through the floor at the time, which for the last year I've had no problems out of this. But when I put that new utility pump in, for some reason it decided to start pulling the water out of this trap. So this is how we're going to fix it, and we're going to get going with that.
Alright, so the first thing you want to make sure to do is cover up any surface you're going to be working on. That purple primer is nasty and will stain, and you cannot get it out, or it's a pain in the butt to get out. Then put a light in there and make sure to get a little bucket to collect that water from the trap you're taking off. As you can see here, it's making a mess, but it's falling into the bucket. The next step here is take the rest of the trap out. So that is a S-trap. They are illegal in some states. I think where I live, they are illegal. However, I did it myself, so I used it. I'm also cutting at that 1.5" PVC right there where I had that trap adapter at. This was the easiest way to make access for that pipe. I'm taking that escutcheon off now, but I'll still have enough room to put that escutcheon on later as you want some nice clean look under the sink. Now I'm starting to put everything back together, so it's just purple primer and glue and start building your setup. So I put a coupling there, then I put some more 1.5" pipe with that T-piece. Then you got to mock it up, make sure everything's going to look right and fit right. Then from there, just keep putting everything together, gluing everything together. I glued that T-piece into that 1.5" pipe. Now I'm gluing that 90-degree fitting with the other 90-degree fitting for the vent. The reason I have two 90s connected like that is that pipe going straight up was going to run into that old drain that was in the wall, so I needed to offset it there, which is perfectly legal, perfectly fine to do with the Studer vent. Another thing to remember with the Studer vent as well is you need to use Teflon tape on it. However, they do not recommend using pipe dope on it. That's what it says in the instruction manual. I'm not exactly sure why. They just say Teflon tape. So that's all I used on it, and that's all it needed. Continuing here, we're just gluing more and more fittings together, building it all up. I like to use purple primer because I know that I primed everything. They do sell clear primer, which is nicer if you want to keep stuff a little cleaner. You're worried about that purple primer getting everywhere. Some states it's not allowed. You need to have purple primer so they know you primed your fittings. However, some states you can use clear primer. I just choose to use purple primer so I know that those fittings are primed and ready to go for the glue so that I don't forget that I primed them. One thing here too that I want to point out with the Studer vent is that it is right below the grade of the sink or the bottom of the sink. Some people may disagree with me here in that. If you read the instructions, it says that it doesn't need to be above the grade of the sink. And the reason for that is some people say, oh, well, if you have a backup in the sink, it's going to flood out the pipe there, get out the Studer vent. Well, no, it's not. It's a one-way valve, so it will only allow air in, but will not allow air out or water out. The biggest requirement is that it needs to be a minimum of 4 inches above your horizontal branch, which the horizontal branch is where that T is and hooks into the trap. So mine's about 6 to 7 inches above my horizontal branch, so that's plenty. Continuing on here, I'm just finishing up with some of the fittings for the drain where the trap is actually going to hook into. Just want to have a male trap adapter there and glue that into the T there, which that was the horizontal branch which I was just talking about. Once that's glued in ready to go, you just need to hook up your trap to that. I did have to use a trap extender or tailpiece extender for this trap, and after that you tighten everything down, make sure it's all good to go. Make sure you fill up your sink, drain it out, check for leaks like I'm doing here, and you'll be all set.
Alright guys, so as you can see, the fix worked. No more gurgling sound. There is a little movement in the trap, but that's fine. It's definitely not as bad as it was before, so that air admittance valve is doing what it's supposed to do, guys.
This video is coming to an end, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit. Make sure to check me out on Facebook and Instagram at The Life of the Zigs, as I keep you guys up to date on when new videos are dropping and post some reels and stories there. As always, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.